Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Max and Ben Talk Hockey. And today, Max and I interviewed forward Chris Douglas, who currently plays on the WHL's Red Deer Rebels. Also, please make sure to subscribe and like this video, as it means a lot to us. Thanks for watching and enjoy.
He grinds, he does everything. So I mean, that's like one of the things kind of that I just. But lately, in the last 5 years, I'd say Bo Horvat. I mean, I'm a huge Canucks fan, so I love Bo Horvat. He's been one of my favorites. I love looking at his game too. So yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Uh, I'm a goalie. I'm a giant Rangers fan, so I always looked up to Henrik Lundqvist, and now
Oh yeah,
someone else now.
yeah,
They left,
Yeah.
and I was sad for like one giant day. It was bad.
Oh, that's fair. I mean, Lundqvist he's been awesome to watch. He's so like just entertaining to watch ever since I was younger. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
he was so fun.
Got that Lamborghini with the lung twist
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've
instead
seen
of Lamborghini on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, my question is, what was it like to score your first WHL playoff goal, and what was going through your mind?
First WHL playoff goal, that would have been against the PA Raiders. I mean, they were a powerhouse that year. That was the year they won the championship. And I mean, we didn't play our greatest hockey in playoffs. They swept us, but it was a crazy feeling in their building. It's very small and compact, and their fans were crazy. So just to almost hear the silence and then the boos of the fans. I mean, it was obviously a great feeling, but maybe I wasn't really focused on that. I was focused more on the game, obviously, than the playoffs, but just playing well. But it was a cool moment. It was a Sakowicz, like a 5-year defenseman I played with. He was in Red Deer for 4.5, 5 years too, and he took a shot from the point, and I just tipped it over. Ian Scott he was a pretty good goalie, but their team was next level. I mean, yeah, but it was cool just to score against them too, and in a big series, in a big game. Like nothing feels better than in playoffs, obviously too. Like more important than regular season. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw that last night when your media manager came in told me that we're gonna have the interview at this time. I just like started making the questions, and
yeah.
I just looked at like when the WHL made like a 1 minute clip about you, and I
Oh yeah, yeah.
saw that goal. Yeah,
Oh yeah, they had it on there. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, it
He
was.
from like Toronto or something. He's a prospect.
Yeah, Ian Scott. He's a good goalie. He
Yeah,
was signed to Toronto.
yeah.
But yeah, they
I've
had.
always like known the PA Raiders. Like I've always thought they were good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they had like Caden Gooley get drafted this year. He was
exactly. He was a first round pick. They were good this year as well. Yeah, that year they had like
also
probably
their logo is sick.
7.
Also the
Yeah, they had like 7 or 8 guys I think signed the NHL or something
oh, wow.
crazy. Yeah, it
That's
was pretty
crazy.
quick.
Wow.
So what got you guys kind of into the WHL, like looking all the way across, like looking at like starting like interviewing? You started interviewing players from all over, or what was that?
So we used to like start just like DMing people on Instagram, and then
Yeah,
we usually got like 7th round picks, 6th round picks with those, and like some guys made it to the NHL, but most didn't. So then I just like decided to go on like Instagram and just like email teams, like
yeah,
junior teams, because they had better luck of giving me like good players
yeah,
interview. And one team from the USHL, the Chicago Steel, their media manager contacted me first, and we had like a phone call together, and he gave me like some advice, which is like spend some time, go on the websites of like junior teams, and
yeah,
find the communications managers and like email them personally.
yeah.
There's
No,
a
that's
lot
super
better
smart.
chance of
All right, yeah,
you getting uh, an interview that way. So
yeah, yeah. That's
and
awesome.
I always knew about the WHL, like mostly because of NHL 20. But
Yes. So where do you guys want to like play your junior careers? I mean, obviously maybe the USHL is close by, but what's your guys's
My
goals
main
kind
goal
of?
is the NAHL, which is North American Hockey League. It's pretty much just as competitive as the USHL. It's like a great league if you want to get noticed in your
Yeah,
career. It's kind of like my goal right now, and there's so many leagues in the United States and Canada where you could go, but that's like my main goal. And if I can't go there, I'd look somewhere else like the ECHL.
yeah. Yeah, the Null. Yeah, I think my assistant coach used to coach in the NHL.
That's cool. Yeah.
That's cool. My goal is to probably make it to like the USHL, QMJHL, like a close league.
Yeah, anything kind of around.
I'm most likely not the WHL. It's kind of far.
Yeah.
And like maybe the OHL. I mean, they have a team in Pennsylvania. That's not far. Erie Otters.
No, yeah, that's not far at all. Yeah, they have a couple teams out there in the States. Yeah.
Yeah, like even the
awesome.
WHL, they have some teams they have like a team in like Montana and like 2 in Washington or something.
Yeah, we have a bunch of teams in the States, so it's a
Yeah.
cool state division. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's pretty crazy how you could get drafted at 14 in the WHL.
Yes, it is. Very young. Very young. Yeah, I was undrafted, so I was an undrafted prospect from Red Deer. I played major midget hockey, which is like the major midget. It's like midget AAA, kind of similar. If that's what you guys have there, it's the same thing, just the highest level of midget. And Red Deer just signed me out of midget. I was always planning on going NCAA. That was my main route, but out of nowhere, Red Deer scout brought me to Red Deer originally, and Brent had offered me a contract, and I said no originally and decided to take the time to decide what I wanted to do. But the junior team that I'd committed to here already had 2 16-year-olds on their team, and you're not allowed to have more than 2 in the VCHL. And Red Deer offered me a spot, so 2 months later, I decided to sign, and I started when I was 16 years old playing in Red Deer, and I've been there ever since. So.
Oh wow,
yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Who are some of the people that helped you push you to like where you are today? So like trainers or coaches or parents, obviously. But like,
yeah, well, of course. I mean, my parents. I mean, everyone probably can say that. I mean, my parents, obviously, when I grew up playing at Burnaby Winter Club, a lot of my minor. So I mean, that's kind of a well-known club. I grew up playing Burnaby Winter Club, which was, I mean, great players obviously come out of that club. And then my last year of Bantam hockey, I played Richmond, but I mean, all those years, my parents driving me out, doing whatever they could. Like, they were really just obviously instrumental. And I mean, just one thing I love about my parents too, like, they're not super involved in hockey. Hockey was always made to be fun. And my parents were always school first, and you should always enjoy your time playing hockey. And I mean, I always will have that mindset looking at hockey. Like, I should never be a task. It should never be work really to do what I love, obviously. So like, that was a big thing for me growing up. But yeah, I mean, all my trainers, like Pete, I've been training, like Peter Provenzano is my trainer right now. I can just go through a couple of my trainers. I mean, he trains a couple NHL guys, a couple minor league guys. Been my trainer for a couple of years now. I mean, he's really helped me just off the ice and everything. And I train Mike and Mark Santorelli a lot. If you guys heard that name, he played for the Canucks. Mike Santorelli. He was a Canucks player for a couple of years, played in the NHL for 10 years. But I mean, Kurt Astle, no one knows, like, he was just kind of been a mentor for me along the way. He played junior hockey, and he's been used to coach me on the ice when I was younger for 7 years, but now he's just kind of a mentor for me. But I mean, there's obviously, the list goes on, and Red Deer's been, like, obviously completely instrumental with Brent just kind of taking a chance on me when I was an undrafted 16-year-old kind of nobody in midget, and him taking a chance on me and bringing me up to Red Deer, and developed obviously a lot as a player, but as a person, I mean, it's been awesome. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't miss anyone crucial about it.
wow, that's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any meaning behind your number 12, or is it just the number that you were given?
There is no specific meaning behind number 12. No, my favorite number is number 7. But 12, for me, it was 9, 11, or 12. Because I came up at the trade deadline. It was like the last day I signed my contract. And so, like, team was already obviously made. I was the last player to join the team before the final run of the season at the trade deadline. So it was 9, 11, or 12. So those were my 3 choices. I had to choose within like 10 minutes. So I just kind of made like a decision on what I wanted to. I mean, yeah, there's no meaning behind 12.
Yeah.
I were 30 just because a lot of goalies were 30, but mostly Henrik Lundqvist.
Yeah.
yeah, I just had that number since I was like 8 or something. Just had it for 6 years. Never
Yeah,
changed.
that's awesome. I was like me with 7. I had 7 for ever since I was like a kid for every year until major junior, really.
Yeah, that's cool. And how did it feel staying away from your family for so long while you were in your first season with the Red Deer Rebels?
Moving away from home, yeah. I mean, moving away from home is it was good. I mean, obviously it's hard when you first move away from home. It's just a lot of change, which is hard to adapt to, and being away from your family at such a young age. But it really forces you to grow up, I think, which is the most important thing. You know, there's no one to look after you. Like obviously you have your billet parents and they're your family. And my billets have been I've had the first couple billets in Red Deer, then I new ones that I've been with for almost 3.5, 3 years now, and they've been like my second family. But really, definitely, like when you're young and you first move away, it just forces you to really, really grow up and mature and make sure everything's right. I mean, no one's there to help you. Like obviously, too much. You're semi on your own. Um, but it was a good experience. I mean, it's definitely good. I think it's good for a lot of players. Good for me as well. It's really good to just get that maturity in there and discipline as well, because Red Deer is very I wouldn't say very, but just like, you know, like you do things right off the ice there, like Brent run, like it's run very professionally. So you're taught, like I think I was taught like from like a younger age, like to do things right, like on and off the ice, whereas some kids maybe aren't because of how they're grown up. So I mean, it was good for me personally. I like it. So
Yeah, it's like you represent your club off the ice is kind of what you mean.
yeah, exactly. And just like training professionally, like if you want to make it pro, like you really have to
Yeah,
act like a professional all the time. It's not just when you're at the rink.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, Red Deer being a little smaller town, like you definitely are being watched more, right? Like you can't
yeah,
be screwing around and being an idiot off the ice for sure.
yeah. Yeah. I go to a private school that's like a Christian private school, and
Yeah,
they're like along the same lines of like while you're out of school, you represent our school and like the history of the school, so like don't mess up.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I went to a private school here when I was before I left as well, and it's the same type of premise. Like you represent it, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. My next question is, what would you consider your greatest strength that separates you from other players?
My greatest strength that separates me from other players. Greatest strength. I mean, I would first off, like maybe stepping away from the skills, I would just say my coachability is probably my biggest strength. I would say, especially coming up now. I mean, just really, I think nothing can be better for a player than to like be able to take in what your coach says and actually learn it and really like be a sponge, like and take in all the information, be willing to put in the extra work off the ice. I mean, I think that's a thing that I learned a lot over the last 8 months of not playing hockey. Just reading about professionals, like I mean, read Crosby's book, currently reading Crosby's book, and just kind of going through some other pro guys. Like you see what those guys do off the ice and how dedicated they are to wanting the team, like for everyone's success, not just themselves, and being like doing whatever they can for the team. Like it's so important for like everyone, including your personal development. So, but yeah, and I mean, I would say my like on ice, just my speed, I would say is always my skating has been my best ability, but obviously trying to make sure rounding everything out and make sure it's good. But my speed and my hockey IQ for me on the ice would be my two.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, my coach last year was like very interesting because like I'm a goalie, and
Yeah,
last year it was like we weren't in a league because we had like some girls on our team and we were like first year bantams, and that's like checking age, and it's
yeah,
very annoying why we were put in a non-checking league. But I understood it. It's like for development. And like I like at the beginning of the season, I thought, okay, I can actually like go from being like an A level goalie to like a double A or like even a triple A level goalie.
yeah,
And that just like didn't work because my coach would just use me as a shooting dummy, and I hated it.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't improve, and I like it was a waste of a season, and like I still look back at on it, and like I always like think what I could have done differently.
Yeah.
We'll just like come up with like the same answer, which is just like nothing. I couldn't do much.
Yeah, sometimes it's just you're dealt maybe the worst bad cards in the hand, but
Yeah. And on your WHL debut, what were some emotions you were feeling, and how did the game go for you?
WHL debut was actually also in Prince Albert was my first ever WHL game. I mean, to be honest, I was terrified. Like I had like I would say like within the 24 hours I decided to sign my Western League contract. I had no idea I was going to sign. Like it was a very like split second decision. Like it was within 24 hours. And like before I knew it, I was at home going to school the day before, and then I was gone, like moved to Red Deer for the rest of the year. So it's kind of out of nowhere. Like I was obviously pretty nervous. I didn't know any, like I'm a little 16-year-old kid. Like I was way smaller back then with these 20, 21-year-old men on the ice. It's my first game, like first time putting a visor on, like the morning skate before we played PA the next day. So I mean, I was nervous. Like it was a good experience. It was crazy. I mean, Brent, like I got to the start that game, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, it was a cool experience. But yeah, I mean, originally I was definitely pretty scared just because it was everything happened like it was just like boom, like so quick. I never thought I was gonna. But
Yeah. How'd they like get everything like prepared really quickly with like all the billet, or like finding you a billet family with like 24 hours and like buying you all the tickets and flying you out?
oh yeah, it was right away. Like it was right. I signed the contract the day before, and then they booked my flight within the next hour, couple hours for like I want to say the next morning they flew me out, or it might even been that night. But they like in that time they had to drop a player on their team for me because they cut another player for me to join their team. So like they just, I mean, they're all used to it. They have billets on call, like all that type of stuff. But it was very, very last minute. So
Oh,
yeah.
so you mean like they just have like billets like in waiting, or like on the waiting list, and they're like, oh, let's.
Yeah, they have a ton. They have a ton of billets. Yeah,
Yeah.
that are like they have like with the team, and then they have relief billets for billets going away. There's a whole system behind that one, but yeah, they literally just booked the flight within a couple hours, and then I was gone.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before games, like game day or practices, do you have any superstitions or rituals that you go through? Yeah.
They've changed a little bit. I mean, obviously, like I would say superstitions and rituals. Like obviously, there's stretching and like routines that I go through for practices and for games. But I try not to be like too superstitious because I feel like there's some guys that like, oh, if you miss one thing, like you're not gonna play well. So I mean, no, like maybe a couple little things. Like I always put my left shin pad, left skate on first. Like nothing crazy. But I mean, I had my routine. Obviously, like I would eat a specific meal like when I would wake up every day on game day. I'd say game days obviously where I had all the rituals, and then I would come home after. I would take a nap. Depending on how I felt, like 45 minutes ish to an hour and a half, depending on how I felt. And I would always wake up, eat my pregame meal at like 3 o'clock. And then I would go to Starbucks. I'd get a drink, or I'd make a coffee, and I just either go for a walk or go for a drive just to kind of get my head awake. And then I'd drive to the rink with my roommate. That was it. Like, that was it. Nothing. I don't have any. I mean, I know some guys who chew a specific type of gum or have to eat certain. Oh yeah, I know some guys with some crazy superstitions, but I was not one of those guys. But definitely, if I do something a specific way and we win, I always do it the exact. Like I wear the same suit if we win. Maybe that's a weird superstition or just that type of stuff. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I do my right side first and then my left.
right side, yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
everyone always has one side they do first.
Yeah,
when they
I
dress.
do right side mostly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do right. No, I do left knee pad right, like actual leg pad.
Yeah.
And that's just how I've been doing it for.
Yeah. Once you get in the habit, you just do it over and over. It's always
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
same thing.
Yeah, I'm not crazy. Goalies are known to be crazy, but like I'm I'm not.
Oh yeah, some goalies have their superstitions for sure.
Yeah. My next question is what exercise like what are like your favorite exercises to do like before games or just like on a workout day?
Favorite exercises? I mean, on game day, like, I mean, I have a full, like, just mobility, obviously, for me is my favorite. Just not necessarily my favorite, just the most useful thing I find before games. Like, we have a Pilates instructor in Red Deer who, like, gave me a couple different type of exercises to do. Just, I feel like personally, I just like to focus on how my body feels. So if I feel like something is more tight or something has been bothering me during the week, I'm going to focus more on that after our team warm up. Like we do a team dynamic warm up. I like to do a little bit of a spin bike. And then just like lots of hip open ups. Like you put the band around your ankles as you lay on the floor. I do lots of hip stuff like that just to keep my hips loose. Cause I find that's the biggest problem. That's probably my favorite type of stuff to do. Cause my stride feels so much better when my hips are loose. But non-game days, I mean, favorite types of workout. I mean, like obviously most guys love upper body workouts, but during the season it's tough to do big, strong workouts. But I think trap bar squats is probably one of my favorite, weirdly enough, workouts to do in the off season, especially just on non-game days too. But I mean, you can't go wrong with a rainbow upper body workout. So
Yeah.
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 My next question is, what's your favorite hockey themed movie?
Goon is my favorite hockey theme movie. That is my favorite hockey theme movie. Doug Glatt. Yeah, I love that movie. I've watched it 10 times ever since I was younger. I love that movie.
Yeah, I haven't watched Goon yet. I'm not sure it's like for my age.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Goon's an interesting movie.
Yeah, I like mostly Miracle or that cool documentary about the Red Wings Russian Five.
Oh, I've never seen that documentary. I should
Oh,
watch that. What's it called?
I forgot. It was like an NBC special or something.
Okay.
Where they talked about like Fedorov,
Oh yeah.
Kozlov, those guys.
You guys didn't even mention the Mighty Ducks.
Oh
well,
yeah, the Mighty Ducks.
everyone says the Mighty Ducks.
I love the Mighty. Miracle's my favorite though.
Yeah, a lot of people like think of like Charlie Conway as like like the actor that played Charlie Conway is like some other guy. He was in like some other famous movie, and he was the main character in another famous movie. But people always forget that he was like the kid who scored a penalty shot with no bucket on.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff always goes unnoticed. And where do you see yourself in a couple of years with your hockey career?
Well, I mean, right now I'm just going to try and do whatever I can to sign a pro contract. I mean, that's the goal, obviously. Sign a pro contract and push to play in the NHL. That's the main goal. I'll do whatever I can to achieve that, really. I think that's definitely the main goal for me. But another option, I mean, obviously I'm going to do whatever I can to reach my potential. But I mean, if I don't sign a pro contract, I'd use my CIS scholarship and head to university. Go take my degree, and then wherever it takes me, I would definitely go play pro in Europe too if that was an option for me after university. But yeah, if I don't sign a pro contract, I'd probably like to go to CIS. Yeah, choose my school and use my scholarship.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm just hoping that I have a good like high school season this year, so I can like enter one of the drafts. And
yeah.
See what happens. If not, then I'll just keep developing and just work harder.
So how does that work to enter drafts, and like what kind of drafts
can you? It's an application. It's like a school application, from what I've heard, where you just
really
where you need recommendations.
Well, it's kind of different for every league. Like the WHL, you can't like the CHL leagues, like the QMJHL, you can't enter those. You have to be scouted, and then then you're put in the draft. And even if you are scouted, it's like really, really hard to make those leagues.
Yeah.
But yeah, but what Ben was saying about, like getting recommendations for like the USHL and the NAHL, that's how it works.
Oh yeah, I had no idea. That's interesting because I've never heard of you have to like apply to be in the
Yeah,
draft.
it's weird how they do it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. And my last question is, if you could go back in time and change one moment in your hockey career to make it a lot better, what would it be and why?
I wouldn't change anything in my hockey career. Like I like the way everything's played out. I mean, are there a couple things maybe I would have told myself back when I was younger? Maybe, but like I'm very happy with how it played out and like the path that I chose and how everything's worked out. But I mean, one thing I wish maybe someone told me when I was younger is like, don't be like nervous, don't be afraid of being in major junior hockey or wherever you're playing. Like you obviously deserve to be there. There's a reason why you're playing. Like just what do you have to lose, right? Like give it everything you got. And I just feel like it's definitely a useful thing for younger players to kind of like understand that there's no reason to be scared. Like you made whatever team you're playing for a reason. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely would never change anything path-wise in my hockey career. I'm really happy with how everything's played out.
Yeah. I mean, like last year, like one thing I would change is probably just like before, if I would have like applied for tryouts, because I was going to try out for like a really good hockey team this year, and COVID happened, so I couldn't do it. We canceled the tryouts, and like if I applied 1 year earlier, then I like might have been on the team, something like that. Not. And or like if like I'm talking like in like my actual hockey playing, just like I would just like to have like a better like attitude towards like my coaches, because like he used me as a shooting dummy, and like no one really liked him after that.
Yeah.
And like he like just like told us to play this like weird way, and just like no one liked it, and it was very weird.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's tough sometimes when you butt heads with your coach when you disagree with some of the decisions that are being made.
Yeah. So that's my last question. Max, do you have any more questions?
Yeah, my last question is, what are your 3 favorite things about the sport?
3 favorite things about the sport, about hockey. I mean, obviously, just the team atmosphere of being a part of a hockey team is definitely one of the favorite parts. I mean, you can't beat. You have a group of guys kind of willing to go to battle with you whenever, so it's like you can't really beat that. That's definitely a feeling that I've really missed over the past 8 months or so. Like I've been maybe lucky enough to have that be like a normal for me for the last 4 years of my life. So when I don't have it, it sucks. I mean, you always have a group of 20 guys just surrounding you. When you, especially in the major junior hockey, you spend so much time with your teammates and you get close with them and stuff. So that's probably one of the main things I would say. I miss that a ton. I mean, there's no better feeling than stepping on the ice for me. Like I find I love playing hockey regardless of what's going on, whether that's training or playing a game, but nothing better than getting out there and going on the ice. And yeah, third, I would say like just the feeling of standing on the blue line or on the bench before a game starts during the anthem. Probably another just one of those moments where you just really take a deep breath and you get to kind of feel the emotions and everything kind of just settle. And I mean, who knows what's going to happen with COVID? Like I might have played my last game with like any type of fans in the building, so it's going to be weird to get back out there and not to have very many or any at all. But I mean, at the end of the day, what happens on the ice is what matters, not the fans. But I mean, just definitely a huge blessing that I took for granted the last 4 years, only like playing in front of fans who are willing to pay to watch me and teams play is a crazy thing. I mean, I never thought anyone would ever pay to watch me play hockey when I was a kid. So crazy feeling too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I don't have any more questions. Max, do you have any more?
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris. This was awesome. This was really fun. I'll post the video soon by like the weekend or something. I'll get it done.
Yeah, sounds good. Just shoot me the link. That would be
Yeah,
awesome. Just send it to
I'll
me
shoot
through
you an
the
email. I'll shoot Kim an email.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on. This was fun.
Hey, no problem. Good luck with your season.
Yeah, thanks.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.